those of you who know me through the videos I produce, my video blogging, maybe you've trained with me personally, you might be surprised that I'm doing this video called Magic versus Mysticism, because you probably don't see me as a kind of person who's into supernatural forces and things like this, and I'm not. I am not really a believer in the supernatural. In fact, I'm not at all a believer in the supernatural. Personally, I'm a great believer in the natural world, the world as it is, however that may be, you know, and I'm very interested in shaping our lives, shaping our realities, but the path for me is through the kind of psychosocial dynamics, the influence of human dynamics, how we influence ourselves, how we influence those in the world around us. Those are the means, for me, the most pragmatic, the most effective, the most real means of doing things. So why? Why then am I doing this video called Magic versus Mysticism? Well, the reason is because I think there's a really useful distinction, which we can take metaphorically if we want to, in comparing and contrasting magic versus mysticism. Now, in the Western esoteric tradition, so to speak, magic has been the manipulation of outside forces towards certain outcomes, towards generating certain outcomes, if you like. So if we're engaging in magical practices, we're trying to change things out there in the world. And the way this would traditionally be done would be through rituals and incantations and by whatever means. Mysticism, on the other hand, to contrast that with magic, mysticism is different. Mysticism is about coming to know deeply and personally the ways of the world, or maybe traditionally the ways of God, or whatever it will be, through personal practices, feeling your way in, increasing your understanding and the depth to which you can see how things are. So mysticism is really a lot about personal cultivation, whereas magic is much more about external manipulation. Now, the two don't need to be separate. They can overlap. And of course, if you take the two, who is going to be most effective in figuring out ways of hacking, so to speak, the outside world, figuring out how you can influence things towards particular outcomes? Who's going to be most effective at that? The person who has traveled a path of mysticism, of increasing their depth of understanding of things, life, the universe and everything and how it works, increasing their personal knowledge or gnosis. I recently did that last video with ID versus gnosis. Are they going to be most effective? Or the person that just superficially gets a formula, a magical formula? Because this is key. This is a huge difference. I've just been having a conversation with a friend of mine, and he was talking about, he just met up with an ex-girlfriend who was, when they were together, was really into the law of attraction. So she had her vision board and was out trying to make things happen through applying the law of attraction, applying the formula, which is a kind of magical manipulation, if you like. So he's just seen her the other day. They haven't seen each other for a few years, and she's complaining about her life, that it's lousy, that it's rubbish, that it just isn't coming together. And he was kind of laughing at her, saying, well, what happened to your vision board and your law of attraction and stuff like that? Of course, it didn't work out for her. Why? Because she's superficially attempting to apply a magical formula, if you like, with no depth of understanding. Now, a lot of people might take that concept of a vision board and outcome and they make it work. Why? Because they're willing to go deep. They're willing to take their understanding deep. They're willing to increase the scope and the depth of their understanding of human beings, human life, how life works, how things unfold, the interconnectedness of things, how their attitude and how they show up influences things, how they can connect to their power to create and shape their reality rather than operate in a world where they think that mystical supernatural forces are going to do things for them. There's a whole load of layers that the person that takes a more mystical approach, if you like, the approach of deepening their understanding, they're the ones who are going to be able to make the magic work. So what I would advocate to you as you're watching this is you understand that difference between magic and mysticism, and look in your own life as to where you have been trying to superficially apply magical formulas and get results, and perhaps being frustrated they're not coming together. versus where you're walking the path of mysticism, of deepening your profound personal knowledge and understanding. Because this comes up all over the place. I was coaching somebody the other day who has applied many different marketing formulas from different places to their business, and none of them have worked. They've all failed. Why? As I pointed out to him, he's trying to apply superficial formulas. He's just hoping if he applies the right formula, it's going to work. So he tries this formula, then that formula, then another formula, like he's trying different magic spells and hoping they're going to work. The thing that he hasn't done is gone deep. He hasn't increased his depth of knowledge. He hasn't immersed himself in the mysticism of promoting himself and his business, if you like. He doesn't have that deep gnosis. He has a bunch of idean. If you want to understand that distinction, see my previous video that I put out on transformative practices, the difference between gnosis and idean. This overlaps here. Idean, you can try and work magic on superficial knowledge, get the right formula, apply it. You can try, maybe sometimes it'll even work. But gnosis, personal knowing, through mystical exploration of something, whether that be your primary business skill, whether it be secondary business skills like marketing, promotion, this kind of thing, whether it be in the area of relationships, whatever area of life it is, going deep, that deep personal exploration and knowing is the thing that's ultimately going to empower you most optimally. So there's a distinction for you, magic versus mysticism. Your mysticism is going to support your magic, but magic alone, that could just be wishful thinking.